All right, so I'm definitely not what you would call a consistent person by any means. I am hugely inconsistent and I am largely unproductive, if I'm being honest, being real. So at some point, you reach a at some point you reach like a wall, right? At least I hope you do. I hope at some point everybody who feels unproductive and inconsistent reaches a wall where they're like, okay, something has got to change. Something has got to be different. And so I'm at that point now. I'm at that point now where I'm 30 and I'm facing hardships kind of all around me, as we all are right now. So not only do I have personal hardships, but there's everything is kind of hard in life. And so I'm at the point where it's like, okay, I need to buckle down. I need to really make changes. First thing is, I hope that makes it clear. A little bit silly. I'm gonna take my nose with it, powder my face. Um, so I mean, I literally just spent an hour and a half on my phone a minute ago, just consuming videos, just consuming things that I didn't really actually need. And so at the end of it, I just put my phone down. I turned over. I put my face in the pillow, and I'm like, dude, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are you doing? I don't get it. And it was a comfy pillow. I want it to stay there, actually. I want it to stay there and lay down and just go to sleep. But I'm frustrated with the way that I feel. I'm frustrated with the results of my unproductivity and my inconsistency. So, I mean, it's gotten me decently far in my life, but I think it's time to stop freeloading, stop drifting, stop just doing what's easy. So, hydrate. So I've done things where I'll this is what you're gonna do. I'm make a whole schedule. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and I'm good at the planning part. I'm good at the research part. I know what the best things are to do. I know how they should go, but I suck at the execution part. And I think a huge reason for that is that I let feelings get in the way. Like I do what feels good, and I'm like I've been diagnosed as ADHD. Like kind of it's been talked about with therapists, but I wasn't consistent enough with therapy to like make that happen. And what's the kind of therapy? What's the kind of ADHD? Inattentive ADHD is the kind that they were prospecting at the time. And so everything in my life is kind of like I just kind of do what feels good all the time. And certain things I can program myself to feel good. Like I used to really like doing manual labor. I still like doing it, but I've been so I still like doing it, but I've been so I still like doing it, but I've been allowed to be so inactive by the leisure of my life that I mean I've lost muscle mass. I feel lazy. I feel terrible most days physically. My stomach is messed up. All my weight is in my stomach, which is what it is. And so I'm at the point where I'm like, look, something's either got to change, or I'm just gonna get worse. I walk around with anxiety every single day. My fingers tingle. Every time I eat, I get an upset stomach. My arm feels heavy, and it's like I know it's all in my head. If I concentrate on my right arm, that one gets heavy too. Like it's difficult carrying your body around. But I think part of that is I'm dehydrated. I'm lucky if I drink a whole bottle of water in a day up until maybe the past couple of days, and it's just terrible. I just know, and not only that, I'm under constant stress. I've never had this much stress. At least I haven't had this reaction to stress so much in my life, and maybe that's because I'm actually kind of starting to take it seriously. I'm actually starting to respond to the stress around me and say, okay, these things aren't how they should be. I'm not how I should be. And so that all culminates to this point where I am looking to do something different. And part of that doing something different also is doing this. This is something that I've always wanted to do. And I did it in high school kind of like as a joke. I had, it was called the Tyler Files. And I just sat on there and talked about funny stuff. And I was silly and I was goofy. And I loved it. It was so much fun. I had other people who loved it. And that was really great. And that felt like helping people in a way. I was making people laugh. And it was fun and felt good to be recognized for putting the time and effort into this thing. But at the end of the day, it's two things. So much more of life happened and I completely forgot about it. And me now in retrospect, 12, 15 years ago later, I deleted it all. And I feel so silly for that because it would have been so funny to look back on now, to show my kids, to show my fiance, just to look back on myself and to show you guys, because it was so silly. And but I let my insecurity, and I had a lot of insecurity in my life. So I've allowed a lot of things through my own actions and actions of other people to happen that I wish didn't, through insecurity. So that's a whole nother thing. And it's not actually a whole nother thing. I think it's part of the root issue of also my productivity is a fear of failure. And so now when I have all of these things kind of stacked up around me, is the point where I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna rise to the occasion, which is kind of in my nature, right? Like ADHD people, some people in general, just do better when there's a deadline, right? Or when they're facing an immediate threat is when our bodies go into action. And I'm at the point where I feel like my body's always in action and I feel like I'm always facing an immediate threat. And up until this point, that has been just my body. And I think that, and Hannah all the time would be like, hey, you need to get out of your body. And there's a part of me which is like, easier said than done, like way easier said than done. But the fact is, it's now time for bed. But the fact is, that's exactly what I need to do. I need to stay out of my body, get out of my head, and start doing things in the real world. To start actually being productive in the things that I want to be productive in, not just, well, I feel anxious, so I'm gonna go do the dishes and do this. And Alexa, stop. So not just I feel anxious, so I'm gonna go around and be productive around the house, but literally that I am going to be productive in things that are going to have longer term payoffs than just what feels good immediately and right now. So, byproduct of that is I have this little journal here where I have with the rules. And right now I have 13 of them. 13 rules. And I've been a person in my life who detests rules, control, all of those things. And still, I free will for, God gave us free will for a reason, but I need to start creating my own rules so that things around me stop creating rules for me. If you don't create your own rules for your life, everything around you if you don't create your own rules for your life, everything around you will. Everything around you will dictate your life if you don't do it. So that's a lesson that I've learned. That's what I'm focused on. And so I also have been wanting to do this social media thing for a while, as I said. And part of that is that, I have spent probably the past 2 weeks in this heavy research mode of how to build a brand and what videos to do and this and that and titles and thumbnails and descriptions. And I've been using a lot of ChatGPT, which has been super helpful. But two things. A, it's not fully original, even though I'm like tailoring it to like know me and kind of learn my style. I'm not teaching it. I can't teach it how to be me as much as I may try. And it's also I'm losing this air of authenticity, and it's just keeping me in this research cycle where I'm getting all of my feel good productivity feeling of working with ChatGPT and watching these videos about branding and doing all of that stuff, but nothing actually productive is happening. Nothing is actually being built. I'm just like, I'm learning about how to build a house. Basically, I know everything about how to build a house and how to build social media and do all of that. But what I don't know how to do still is not even like those who teach can't, or whatever the saying is, right? Like I'm learning instead of doing. Those who learn don't do. Like I don't know, but I'm spending all this time learning and not any time doing. And I'm to be fair, I've done some stuff. I have posted a whole bunch of short clips, and I've been scheduling. I've done these really good things, but they're very generic, and they don't feel valuable. They don't feel valuable. They don't feel valuable to me, and I don't think they feel valuable to anybody else who's watching them. I don't think that they provide even that much entertainment. I think that they're very plain. And so, all that being said, I'm looking to create the life in which I want to have. And so, as I'm working with ChatGPT and learning all of these things that you need in order to be successful online, I'm also realizing that a lot of times it talks about, and other people talk about, well, you have to show that you're somebody who can be trusted. You have to show you have a reputation. I don't have those things. I don't have a course that I've been selling that people have taken and I have reviews and all these things are great. I don't have any of that. I have nothing except for my own life experience in which I'm still experiencing. And so I have realized that because I can't say, oh, well, I've been doing this for 10, 15 years and I have all this experience and all these people who can back me up and all these references. I realize that since I don't have any of that, that I have to build trust. And the only way to build trust is to put things out in the open, to be truthful, right? Truth and trust go together, or at least they should. People can lie and you can still trust them and whatever. But as far as I'm concerned, true trust should be planted in truth. And so I am working on being more truthful and honest with my story and being more open with telling people everything about me instead of, and not just about me, but about the journey and wanting to show the byproduct of what happens when you go from inconsistency to consistency. And I know, like, as much as we're all unique and we're our own special people, I'm not that special. Okay, there are millions of people out in the world who don't feel productive, who don't feel motivated, who don't know how to get up off their butts and just do the right thing. And maybe you do. Maybe, I mean, you go to work every single day and you work your job and you pay your bills and you wash the house, you clean the house, you wash the dishes, you take care of your car, you got oil changes frequently. Maybe you do all of that stuff. Okay, maybe you're not as inconsistent as me, but maybe you're just inconsistent on doing what you feel like you need to be doing to level up, to go up to the next level, which is where I feel like I'm at. I feel like I'm consistent with taking the trash out, and I'm consistent with getting the dishes done, and I'm consistent with taking my kid to school. Like, I'm consistent with certain things, but I can level up, I can be better. And a big portion of that is realizing how I can be better for myself and how that will have a trickle down effect onto everything else in my life. And so that's what I want to do here. I want to show from day one to day 5 million. I don't know how many days we're alive on Earth, but I want to go from day one until the end and just show an evolution, a change. I want to tell a story, my story, and not only for myself to prove that I can do it, but so I have accountability through you guys, through you as an individual. I want to have accountability through you. I want comments saying, "Hey man, you can do this. You're gonna do it. You have stuff to live up to. I want to be held accountable. And then for you guys too, I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be rich. I want to pay my bills. I want to be able to have security, but I'm not looking to be wealthy. I don't know where that line is. But I'm not trying to make my life about money. I don't want to worship money and have money rule over me in my life. But I want to have security, and I want to have community, and I want to help people. It's just something I've always wanted to do. So, all that being said, this is it. This is the day one video, and I'm through my own life and practicing these things. I'm going to try to come up with resources for other people to use. Like, this is a resource. This is not only for me. This could be for somebody else, and I want to try these things and see how they work. I mean, I'll read through them really quick. My first one is no consuming social media, only creating, because I get stuck doing it. It burns me out, and it doesn't really provide me any value unless I'm actually looking to learn something. I put no sugar, only light carbs, because every once in a while I'm going to have spaghetti with the family, I'm going to have pizza every once in a while. 64 ounces of water per day. I only decided that number because I asked the Alexa, how much water should I drink? This is my weight. 5-minute cold shower per day. I think it's going to help me with my anxiety. 15 minutes run, jog, walk, whatever, just moving per day. I'll level up as I get better. 15 minutes of weightlifting per day. I mean, we're at 35 minutes so far of things I need to do. And if I can't spare 35 minutes out of my day for myself, then how am I going to get better? No vaping or smoking of any kind. I don't smoke anymore of any kind. But every once in a while, I don't smoke anymore of any kind, but I do still hit a vape. And I don't want to do it anymore. I don't like how it makes me feel after the fact. I don't like how it gives me anxiety. And I don't like how it makes my lungs feel. So that's got to be done. Here's another one. I don't want to show any anger with my kids or with Handban, my partner. So here's another one. I don't want to show any anger with my kids or with I don't want to show any anger with the kids or with Hannah, aka Handban. And it's not like I'm explosively angry or anything. It's not like I'm an angry person, but I have moments of frustration. And I want the kids in this house to learn that a man is level headed. I want my fiance to learn that I am level headed and that I can handle tough situations, not only out of an anxiety way, but also out of a angry way. I don't want people to be fearful of me. I'm gonna eat 2 of my Smarter Greens soft chews per day. If you don't know what they are, they're awesome. They're big grown up Starbursts, I would call them. No slouching as I'm doing it. No complaining. That's what I've been working on. I've been all right with it. 15-minute meditation, so we're at 50 minutes, less than an hour still. 15 minutes of meditation per day, and then 1 original short video per day. So this one has not turned out to be short at all. Should have filmed it sideways. But here we are. It is what it is. We did it. I'm not going to overthink it. We're just going to post it. All right? If it's just my head, we'll make it fit somehow. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. So